Hello, welcome to my channel, Save Infinity. In this video, I just wanted to, give a quick reminder and then also, delve a little more into the whole idea of how life and reality is, kind of like a dream, and like the purposes of, the kind of like going through this experience for like soul growth, or for like, expanding our soul in certain areas. And so it's kind of like a dream in the aspect of how you could think of like your soul wearing a VR headset type, thing, but a very, very super immersive one. Very, very advanced, high detail type VR game, immersive experience. If you kind of think of it like that, is kind of a great way to kind of conceptualize how this reality works for our soul in that aspect. And because of that, that's kind of how they say, like the past and the future doesn't, technically exist. What matters is in the present moment, because it's, in the present moment that you're drawing things from, that infinite quantum field into matter. And so, the past exists more in, like a memory, and the future exists more in imagination, but it's like they still exist in a sense, because, everything everywhere does always exist forever. But in a physical realm of matter type way of thinking about things, it's not like the past is still, from, your current perspective, existing in solid matter form. Instead, it's, moment to moment, in the present moment, we are drawing an experience from that infinite quantum field into matter to kind of, be formulated into, like physical reality. I guess kind of, thinking of that sort of VR reality game type approach, or any sort of, computer type game, as your character moves through the world or through the map, you're kind of rendering each scene, each moment into form, right? And it's kind of a similar way of what we're doing moment to moment. And just because, reality is more of like a dream in that sense, or like a simulation, or however you like to like look at it or conceptualize it, doesn't mean that things don't matter at all. The purpose of being here is, not the whole purpose, but, a purpose is, our souls are infinite and eternal. And so, kind of being here to kind of grow and expand your soul through these sort of energetic experiences, different decisions you make and actions you take and experiences you go through can kind of leave like a dent or a mark, or kind of like shape your soul energetically and your aura and things like that, your energetic signature and all of that, what have you. Kind of like, if you think of Play-Doh and you put it through the different little tools to, squish it out and make like a star shape, or squish it out and make like spaghetti. It's kind of like you're doing that with your soul through this life experience. You're kind of like reforming and reshaping its like energetic signature and the energetic formulation of its, auric field and things like that. And so, things do still have importance and do matter in that aspect, as that is, truly what you do take with you at the end of the day, when this sort of human, 3D human life experience is over, and you return back to more being in, soul form wherever you go and exist. That is, the main thing that you do take with you, that sort of energetic imprinting and experience and shaping of your soul in that way. You're not taking the physical items and stuff with you. You take the memories, the moments, but also the way your your soul got shaped and grew and evolved through such experiences, is what you kind of are taking with you. It can often be a little difficult too to kind of find that balance between not wanting to go overboard with certain situations and becoming like a complete, martyr, or a complete self-sacrificing person, especially in the aspect of, this things being more like a dream or a simulation or what have you, you know, for our own experience and growth. You know, you don't want to expend all your energy on just, you know, completely self-sacrificing yourself in that aspect. But then on the opposite end, you know, you don't want to be going into complete sort of like cowardice type energy or selfish or greedy type energy either, where you're just becoming, you know, completely cold and detached from everything. Because, you know, those sort of situations and things like that too also do leave like a, you know, a dent or an imprint on your auric field, or a kind of, you know, telling the universe the frequency that you are giving off, which then, you know, helps attract or retract certain experiences and things like that in your life. So if you're wanting a more wholesome, fulfilled experience in your life, you don't want to be out there giving off that frequency code of, you know, being completely self-sacrificing, but also don't want to be giving off that, you know, frequency code of being completely kind of, you know, detached or, you know, self-centered in that aspect, because then that really doesn't allow those more sort of balanced, harmonious, wholesome and fulfilling type energies and experiences to come through to you, because that's not what your energy is like signaling for and resonant and aligned for, you know, with that whole as within so without aspect, you know, with that energy that you are formulating for yourself, and that energy signature in your auric field is all kind of attracting in, you know, the experiences in your reality that are mirrored to you. So being mindful in that aspect of kind of finding that balance in order to have a reality that is more fulfilling and wholesome in that aspect, aligned and mirrored to you based off, you know, the energy that you are like, you know, imprinting and formulating within yourself. You know, like it really is like your soul that you are here shaping through this reality, rather than so much reality itself that you're shaping. You know, you're shaping your soul to then reflect and mirror back to you the reality. And you know why they often say these sort of more dense physical type, you know, experiences can be more difficult and such in so many ways, but can also be a really like fast-tracked way of evolving and shaping your soul in so many ways, because we have all these different experiences and decisions and actions we can make and take that really do more impactfully and more boldly leave an imprint or a shaping into your like soul and energetic signature. You know, going through certain experiences or going through certain events, you know, and the actions you take through that, or the, you know, the thought process and the way you respond and things like that really do help like reshape and formulate that energy within you in a way that can be done so much more profoundly and, you know, more instantaneously than, say, experiences that you can have in other realms that aren't so physical and dense. But, you know, not also to take it all so seriously either, in an aspect of, you know, being completely like committed and down to just, you know, viewing this whole experience solely as like soul growth or what have you, and things like that. You know, we are also here to experience being human, you know, being human and enjoying ourselves, and, you know, having pleasure and joy and all the magical, wonderful things that such a reality can provide for us. But just being mindful, you know, in certain moments and with certain circumstances, that the opportunity that they can provide in that sort of soul growth aspect, so that you can then manifest more wholesome and enjoyable such experiences for yourself that we are here to enjoy. So, you know, having that healthy balance in that aspect with your mindset, you know, not like treating this like some, you know, game you've come into to just fully so focus on just working away and chipping away at your soul, but, you know, see it as more of an immersive experience. You've come here to, you know, to love and have fun, you know, enjoy all the pleasures and such that this reality can bring in that aspect, but doing so in just like a slightly mindful way of of growing and expanding, you know, your soul and energy through certain experiences in order to assist you in, you know, formulating and manifesting more aligned and resonant and enjoyable, harmonious, wholesome, fulfilling type experiences for yourself as you continue to move along through the journey. You know, they often can say, you know, Earth is like a school, but, you know, not trying to treat it kind of like, you know, the schooling that we may be used to, where, you know, it's all just a lot of, you know, just work, tests, you know, having to perfect yourself or something in that aspect. But more seeing it as, you know, a joyous, wonderful, exciting, fun playground. And then those soul growth experiences allow you to become, you know, a more impactful player, in a sense of being able to play in a way that allows you to have a more enjoyable time and a more magical time. You know, that you are here to have a fulfilling experience for yourself and those around you. And so, you know, seeing it more from that aspect, and that, you know, being the priority, and just seeing those sort of soul growth experiences as assisting you along the way to get to those more enjoyable, playful, magical, fun, loving type experiences in a way that's going to be, you know, beneficial and resonant and aligned for you and your soul. You know, for an example of, you know, going through certain experiences to build up more confidence, but not in an aspect so that you can, you know, be some confident, serious person that's, you know, now like ticking off all their goals, but to build up confidence to be able to more confidently immerse yourself in this reality, to have enjoyable experiences, more confidently engage in, you know, certain experiences so that you do experience that enriching, fulfilling love and joy. If that makes sense. All right, well, I might leave this one here for now. Sending you so much peace, love, light, and blessings as always. Bye.